Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to Quadruplicity 2010. I feel like it's been a long road getting here with our date change. But I am, as Ginger said, Andrea Heaps, and I work for one of the many small businesses that are within our chamber, High Peak Sportswear, which is our family screen printing and embroidery business. And I also have the great honor of being the chair of the Business Women's Roundtable this year. I am so excited to be in a room with so many amazing women. As many of you were coming in this morning, I've had an opportunity to talk with quite a few of you, and I was really struck by how much talent and experience and really just wisdom is contained within these four walls this morning. And I hope that throughout the day you will make connections and really be able to not only share some of your own wisdom and experience, but gain some of that wisdom and experience from the women that are around you. I appreciate the effort that all of you made to accommodate the date change. It was a very difficult decision to make to change a conference of this size only mere days before it happened. But really, as we discussed it, we were guided by the whole principle of the conference, which is to help the women of our community find balance in their lives. And when we reflected on the fact that many of you had missed multiple days from work during that time period, and we know that some of you were struggling with childcare issues with the school being closed for so many weeks. And we really felt that the best thing we could do for you was not share a day of personal development, but to really just take one more thing off the plate so that you could really relax and enjoy this day when you finally were able to be here. So that's one of the reasons that I personally am so passionate about this conference. At every step of the way, we have tried to think about and really instill what it is that we think the women of our community want. And we ask ourselves over and over, what is it that the women in this community really want and need to be successful and to achieve balance within their lives? And we started with a massive list of possibilities. And we were able to, over time, narrow it down to the 8 breakout sessions that you'll find. And I hope that you'll agree that they are things that are relevant and really impactful in most of your lives today. Throughout the planning process, I personally have looked forward to today because, as I suspect many of you do, I struggle with balance. I am a wife and mother of 4 amazing but extremely active youngsters, and I volunteer in several organizations, and I work not only in a small business but a small family-owned business, which has its own unique set of challenges, as some of you may know. There are many days when I feel like I'm pulled in so many different directions with so many competing priorities that I'm not doing my best in any given role. Are there any of you who feel that way? Do you? Yes, and that is what to me is so great about this conference, is that I feel like that, you feel like that. You can look across the table from you and see someone who feels just like you do. The woman sitting across the table or even across the room, that very accomplished and pulled together looking woman, struggles with the same things that you struggle with on a daily basis. We all try so hard to keep all of our roles going strong, and we struggle to keep all those balls in the air. And I think for the most part, we do a really great job of that. But the truth is that sometimes you just can't keep them all in the air. As long as you're trying to keep them all in the air, that's my philosophy. If you're making an effort to do it, it all comes together. So if you're like me and you find strength in numbers, I would invite you to attend one of our Business Women's Roundtable meetings. As Ginger said, it does fall under the umbrella of the chamber, and it is a wonderful group to be associated with. As I said, I feel very honored to be the chair of that group. Raise your hand if you have attended a BWRT meeting within the past year. So as you look around the room, you can see that many women, for some of us, it doesn't work within your schedule to attend every month. You can attend as you are able to. We do have many women who attend regularly, and each month we end up with about 45 to 50 women who meet. We gather the 3rd Thursday of each month at the Cavalier Inn. We do a little bit of networking over brown bag lunch, and then we always have an educational speaker. And April's speaker, I think, will be very interesting. It's Jody Kilbasa of the Virginia Film Festival. And he will be talking with us a little bit about the festival, giving us a behind-the-scenes look, and also talking about the economic impact to Charlottesville, which I think should be very interesting. So I do invite you to attend. If you are not a chamber member, you are welcome to attend twice as our guest before making the decision to join the chamber, which I highly encourage and suspect that you will once you attend some chamber functions and find out how beneficial they are. In January at the Business Women's Roundtable, we all spent some time actually preparing for today. talking about our goals and what we wanted to do to get the most out of today. So if you have not had an opportunity to set a goal for yourself for today, I encourage you to do that. And it could be something as simple as meeting one specific person that you know would really benefit you. Or it could be making connections within a given industry. Or maybe you have goals that are very specific to one of the breakout sessions. But set a goal and try to achieve that goal today. The fact is that you've invested in this day, and certainly monetarily, but even more important, time is precious, and you're investing your time to be here today. So think about what it is you want to know or be or do differently when you leave this conference today. In a few minutes, we're going to be fortunate enough to hear from our keynote speaker, Patricia Kluge, and I would like to just personally thank Patricia. Some of you may not be aware that Patricia was obviously scheduled to speak with us at the first date, and for this date, she was actually scheduled to be on a business trip in China. And after some discussion about whether we could potentially Skype her in remotely from China, which would have been an interesting technological experience, Patricia really felt that her commitment to this conference and her dedication to the women of this community really trumped that business trip. And so she actually changed her itinerary and her flights in order to be with us today, and instead will leave tomorrow morning. So thank you, Patricia, for that. I have a few other thank yous I'd like to give. First, I'd like to thank the Charlottesville Chamber of Commerce. Without the chamber, there would be no Quadruplicity. And especially I would like to thank Danielle Fitz-Hugh, who is our chamber liaison and works harder than any person ever should have to on our behalf. And I would also like to thank my good friend and colleague, Ginger Germani, who you saw moments ago. Ginger is the chair of this year's Quadruplicity, and from the moment of our first planning meeting, Ginger had a really crystal clear vision of what she wanted this day to be. And she has guided us, inspired us, beaten us over the head with a stick when needed. She has been all of that. And so, Ginger, thank you for your tireless work. And I have just a couple other very important sponsorship things that I would like to mention. First of all, Virginia National Bank contributes monetarily to this conference. They are our title sponsor, and without Virginia National Bank's monetary contributions, again, this conference just could not take place. And I would also like to thank our media sponsors who have been so wonderful to work with. We have 3 media sponsors: the Daily Progress, the Charlottesville Radio Group, and the Charlottesville Newsplex. And then another thing that you may not be aware of is that I'd also like to thank the Charlottesville Regional Airport, because the airport is actually donating a travel package that will allow the recipient of this year's Athena Award to travel to the national conference. So really wonderful of the Charlottesville Airport, and we thank them for that. I'd also like to thank Susie Sett. I'd also like to thank Susie Sett and Seabell Concierge for the free drink tickets that 100 of you will be enjoying. They were able to donate 100 free drink tickets to the first 100 registrants, and we will find out later today who those 100 lucky people are. So thank you very much for that. And of course, I have to thank the table sponsors. All of their names are listed on your tables. You can see them on each of your tables, and we thank them for their sponsorship. And this thank you would not be complete without a thank you to the many committee members who dedicated so many volunteer hours over the course of the past year to make this happen. And now I would like to point out a few things that I think logistically will help you throughout the day. If everyone could grab their bag, you should have a blue bag, which in and of itself may be a help, because on the side it has business card holders at the top near the handle, 2 on each side. So you can use one for your own business cards and one for the many cards that I'm sure you will collect throughout the day. The first thing I'd like to point out in your binder is the agenda. And on your agenda, you will actually not only see the breakout sessions, but the actual room that each of those sessions will be meeting in. And then you will also see a map of the Omni's facilities so that you can find the room locations. You'll see a letter from the chair, a letter from me, information about the Business Women's Roundtable, contact information for the executive committee as you flip through there, the information on the Athena Award, a wonderful article on Sherry Lewis, last year's recipient of the Athena Award, the speaker speaker bios and all of the session handouts. You do have session handouts for all of the sessions, so if you're not able to attend one of them, you will still have the resources available there. The list of all of the sponsors, exhibitors, and committee members is there as well. I do need to make one correction to exhibitors. The Integrity Home Counseling actually should be Integrity Home Contractors, so sorry about that, guys. If you need anything, please see a committee member. There will be someone staffing the registration table all day long. And so, ladies and the few gentlemen that I see in the room, I hope that you make many, many meaningful connections today at this conference. And I hope that you leave educated, energized, and really inspired to achieve all of your goals for 2010. Thank you.